What is going on? Welcome. And right off the bat, I want to say this just in case your parents are watching. Happy Father's Day. I hope that you guys also are able to celebrate your fathers or people in your lives that would be like fathers to you, because this is a great day because we get to celebrate them. It's just like Mother's Day, except check this out, with fathers. Big brain moments. But I see Akira's online. What's going on? I see that Rachel Sen is here. I see that Ayumi's here. Welcome. Alexia jumped. Benny said bonjour. That's French for hello, if you didn't know. And if you didn't know, now you know.
If you don't know,
no. Tamara said hello here. Alina, what's going on? Alexia said happy Father's Day. I appreciate the enthusiasm, Alexia. I don't think anyone on this chat is a father yet, or shouldn't be. But we're here for it. Oh, Rachel Sen said it too. Okay, cool. Warren said hallow, like halo, but like hallow, like hallowed be your name. If you know, again, that's the Lord's Prayer. But guys, before we jump on into week 3 of our video, I got a question, okay? And like every single week, we've been starting off and we've been asking a would you rather question. So our would you rather question for this glorious Father's Day morning where the sun is shining, the skies are blue, the trees are green. Yes, that type of morning. The question is this, okay? It is, if you could only pick one, okay? You can only have one for the rest of your life. Would you pick YouTube or TikTok, okay? Would you rather TikTok or YouTube? YouTube or TikTok? TikTok or YouTube? Which one are you choosing for the rest of your life? YouTube 100%. YouTube. For a second, I thought he said the sky is green and the trees are blue. No. Yeah, definitely not. TikTok, I do not like TikTok. YouTube, I don't have TikTok. You talk. Ooh, you changed the game. You said you talk. Everyone, YouTube, because you can watch TikToks on it. Malachi, there you go. You're thinking, bro. You're thinking. That's that big brain right there. That's honestly what I was thinking. Like when I was reading this question, I was like, I'd rather just have YouTube. I can watch the TikToks on YouTube. Plus, I can watch other things. The scope of things I can watch is far greater than TikTok. Like I can go on YouTube and say like, I don't know, like say I own a home at one point and like there's something wrong with like my ducts and I don't know how to like clean or like repair my ducts. I can go on YouTube and be like, how to repair ducts. And then I can do that. I can't do that on, wow, I almost said YouTube twice. I can't do that on TikTok. It's not gonna work. You could watch TikToks on YouTube. Yeah. So I see that we have come up with a consensus that a majority of us was like YouTube, and we got some people that were like TikTok. And there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer because it's what you want to live with for the rest of your life. But you know what I would really want? I would really, I'm going to do it like 4 more times, okay? Like really want is to watch this week 3 video. So let's get right on into it. You see what I did there? That's clever again. I know.
This just came in from Amazon. Let's see.
It's from my mom. I know this is my birthday gift. But my birthday isn't until like another week. What is it? It's so light. Doesn't sound like there's much in here. This better not be one of those trick gifts where the boxes get smaller and smaller and smaller. I wish I could see. Oh, it's just taunting me. Now I'm just supposed to sit here and wait until my birthday because I'm not supposed to open this, right? Have you ever been in a situation where you really, really wanted to do something you knew you shouldn't do? Like when you saw a sign on the bench at school that said, "Don't touch wet paint," suddenly you just wanted to put your hands on it right away, didn't you? Or when you stumbled on that show on Netflix and you knew your parents didn't want you to watch it. Nobody was around and you really, really wanted to push play, didn't you? Or when you forgot to study for that big math test and you found yourself looking at the paper of the super smart classmate in front of you, it was hard to resist copying just a few answers, right? I think we can all relate to the feeling of really, really wanting to do something that we know we probably shouldn't. I definitely know what it feels like. Okay, Christmas when I was 13 years old, my mom asked me to be the taste tester of her famous sweet potato pie. All my job was to do was get the spoon, dip it in the little mixture, the sweet potato pie, and taste it. And then put the spoon back in the sink. I did this in front of her. All was well. It was delicious. Then her phone rings and she had to walk away. And I'm standing there with the spoon and the pie mixture. And y'all, I ate like 7 more spoonfuls. So much so that when she came back from her phone call, she looked at the bowl and she's like, "How much did you taste test?" This all comes back to the word temptation. Temptation means wanting to do something that may not be best for us. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, the temptation struggle is definitely real. I mean, I feel like I can't go through even one day without being tempted to do something I know I shouldn't do, even when I know it's wrong, even when I know it might not be good for me, even when I know there could be big consequences. I still find myself being tempted to give in and do it anyways. I think it's safe to say that we're all tempted by things in our lives. And I think for all of us, no matter what the temptation may be, the question is this: why do I want to do it even when I know it's wrong? I think some of us do it because we don't want to be the only one not doing it. We're motivated by a real case of FOMO, fear of missing out. If everybody else is watching that show or going to that party or saying that word, we don't want to be left out. So even if we know it's wrong, we still do it because we want to feel included or accepted. Or maybe we make the choice to do the thing that we know we shouldn't do because honestly, we don't see what the big deal is. Sure, there might be a consequence or a punishment, but that's only if we get caught. What harm could there really be in telling a little lie or cheating on one test or looking at that picture online? Is it really that big of a deal if nobody else knows? Maybe we do it because we feel like we should be able to do it. We want to be independent. We want people around us to know that we're capable of making our own decisions. We want the freedom to decide on our own. And because of that, sometimes we make choices that we know might not be good for us just to prove that we can. Or maybe we give into temptation because honestly, we just don't know how not to. We feel powerless against it. We tell ourselves we won't go back to that website or talk to that person who treats us badly or lie to our parents again. But then we do it just like that. We find ourselves giving into the same temptations over and over and over again. We know it's wrong, but we just can't figure out how to stop. The truth is that people have been battling temptation since the beginning of time. The very first humans got created, Adam and Eve, they were tempted to go their own way rather than God's way. They had literally everything they could have ever wanted, and still they gave into temptation. Since then, we as humans have been struggling with the same thing. Thankfully, we can look at how people have handled temptation from the very beginning to help us understand where the struggle comes from within us. And I think it's important because the more we understand why we're tempted, the better we'll be able to understand how to respond in a healthy way. So a guy known as the Apostle Paul wrote about this struggle with temptation in the book of Romans in the Bible. Romans was actually a letter that Paul wrote to Christians living in Rome. And here's what he wrote. "The trouble is with me, for I am all too human, a slave to sin. I don't really understand myself, for I want to do what is right, but I don't do it. Instead, I do what I hate. Can you relate? I know I can. So many times I find myself feeling like Paul. I want to do the right thing, but I choose to do the wrong thing instead. Something in us is just pulled toward mistakes. Sometimes over and over and over again. Even when we know it's wrong, we do it. Even when we know that nothing good lives in me, that is, in my sinful nature. I want to do what is right, but I can't. I want to do what is good, but I don't. I don't want to do what is wrong, but I do it anyway. But if I do what I don't want to do, I am not really the one doing wrong. It is sin living in me that does it. Here's what I love about what Paul wrote here. Paul totally owned it. Here he was, this great Christian leader, owning up to the fact that he struggled with temptation and sin. Wouldn't it be so cool if more people in our lives would own up to not being perfect? If they just admitted that they didn't have it all figured out. I remember wishing more adults were like that when I was in school. Actually, I still wish adults were more like that. Paul admitted that temptation was hard for him. It was something that he struggled with for the same reason that all of us struggle with it. And that reason is sin. It's the thing in us that wants to choose what isn't God's best for our lives. The struggle was real for him then, and I know it's real for us now. It doesn't help that sin is made to look so good. It can look like fun. It can seem like such a small thing. It almost promises that it's going to make our lives better or give us something we really, really want. That's what makes it so tempting. Even though we know it's not good for us, we're drawn to it. There's something in all of us that makes us want to do the wrong thing sometimes. And that is where we need Jesus. Check out what Paul wrote earlier in his letter to the Romans. For everyone has sinned. We all fall short of God's glorious standard. Yet God, in his grace, freely makes us right in his sight. He did this through Christ Jesus when he freed us from the penalty for our sins. For God presented Jesus as the sacrifice for sin. People are made right with God when they believe that Jesus sacrificed his life, shedding his blood. God is for you. Do you hear that? Before you even knew you needed him, he was there for you. He loves you and wants what's best for you. And because of that, he sent his son Jesus to free us from all the struggle with sin inside of us. With Jesus' death on the cross, we were given the gift of grace. Now, grace means that we don't get the consequences that we deserve. But because Jesus is sacrificed for us, we instead get the chance to start over, to start fresh, to try again, to make the right choice, to choose God's best. So often we think the opposite of giving into temptation is being good. But the truth is, it's so much more than that. The opposite of temptation is trusting in God for what is good for you. It's believing that God really does have something better for us, even when the thing we really, really want tells us otherwise. When we believe God wants good for us, it makes resisting temptation a lot easier. And because of Jesus, we can do that. Jesus helps us when we're tempted. He's always by our side when we want to do things that we know we shouldn't. And when we go to him and we trust him, we gain the strength to resist temptation in our lives. We have Jesus to walk alongside us when we struggle. I don't know about you, but that makes me feel like I can conquer just about anything because Jesus helps us when we're tempted. If you feel like you're not getting that help, try these things. First, admit the struggle is real for you. Before we can accept God's grace, we have to admit that we need it. So start by confessing to God that the struggle with temptation is real for you. Tell him what it is you're tempted by. Start by being honest about where you're struggling. Next, ask for his help. We can't do anything about that struggle by ourselves. If we want to beat it, we need Jesus' help. We need his strength to help us stand strong when we're tempted. We need to be reminded of his love and forgiveness when we give into temptation and we need to start over. So whatever temptation you may be struggling with now, ask for Jesus' help in beating it. Pray that he will give you the strength and wisdom to choose his best for your life. And if you're not sure what it looks like, talk to your group leader about it. They can help you see God's grace at work in your life right now. They can help point you toward Jesus in the face of temptation. Give grace to the people around you. None of us are perfect. I'm not. You're not. Neither is the person who makes mean comments on social media, and neither is the teacher who is cranky every day in class, and neither is your stepmom or annoying little sister or tough dad. Remember that just as much as you need grace, so do other people. When the people in your life mess up, give them grace. Show them that you care and know that they can start over. And finally, trust God's heart toward you. Ask God to help you trust that He wants what's best for you. Ask God to help your heart understand that He really is for you, that His intentions for you are so good. They're beyond what you can even think of. And if we trust Him, even when we don't understand why, it will end up good for us. Always. Remember, Jesus helps us when we're tempted. And your group is a great place to be honest about what you're struggling with and to encourage each other to embrace God's help in that struggle. In fact, I just might have to leave this present with someone from my group until my birthday next week. Yeah, I think I'll do that.
And we're back. We are back, and I am blurry. So I'm gonna actually fix this real quick. Give me like 2 seconds. Oh, you can see me. Look, I'm right there. All right, so we are talking about temptation, guys. And our bottom line for camera hating. I know, right? Rip the camera. Don't worry, I fixed it quick, bro. I fixed it quick. I was on top of it. Okay. But we're talking about temptation. And our bottom line for today was actually this, okay? It was Jesus helps us when we are tempted. Why did I say tempted? When we are tempted. He wanted the camera to be blurry. Yes. My name is Blurry Face, and I care about what you think. Oh, it's still kind of blurry. We're going to have to just live with it because I don't have a second person to help me out. Single tear. But talking about temptation, and we're going to kind of jump in with our first question. And this question is an easy question because all you have to do is throw in a number in the chat. Yes, a number. That is all you got to do to throw into the chat. So, without further ado, here we go. All right, the question is this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how easy is it for you to admit what you're tempted by? Okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being super easy, 10 being super hard, how easy is it for you to admit what you are tempted by? Okay, I'm off the charts. 5, 6. I see a bunch of different. Oh, I said like I see a bunch of different, but it was really just only 2. 8 maybe. 4, 6.5, 7, 8, 6. I said 19. 8, 9, 4. Depends on what it is. That's really good. 4. 5 to 10 depends on what the temptation is. 9 depending on what it is. Yeah, like I feel like when asking this question, the big factor in it's like really bad. All right, I'm gonna fix it. Guys, this is crazy, man. We need a better camera. We need one of those like YouTuber cameras, you know, the cameras that YouTubers use. That's what we need. But when we look at this question, like a lot of us would probably be like, it would depend on what we are tempted by, right? Like the camera blurred. You're blurred. Thanks, Piper. You guys always have my back. Always got my back. You guys are always looking at my back. I appreciate it. But it would depend, right? And I'll kind of break it down. So if you were tempted to, I don't know, have ice cream. I feel like I always use this example. I like ice cream, and I know there's some people, Rachel, also in the chat and who are watching that also like ice cream. So probably like a low temptation thing where it would probably be like maybe like the 1 to 5 range, depending on who you are, would be like if you wanted ice cream before dinner and you were tempted and you went up to your parents and you're like, hey, I just really want ice cream before dinner. Can this be a thing? And like, that would be like something that would be like really low, right? Where you're like, I know I shouldn't do this, but it's not like life or death. It's more like I'm going to spoil my dinner. You know what I mean? And then we may have like that, Rachel, we may have like that middle one, okay? Where it might be like the 4 to like 7 range, okay? Where some of us may be like, when you go to like the convenience store and they have like the 5-cent candies, those like in the jars, or Bulk Barn or like a store like that. And like, you're looking at what you want to get and you're like, it wouldn't be harmful if I just tried one, right? Like tried one. So then you take one. That temptation will probably fit there because like it's bad and you probably get in a lot of trouble for something like that. But again, it's not like monstrosity big where like you might be embarrassed telling someone that like, I tried the thing at Bulk Barn. Although it's bad, right? Like there's levels to this. Or you might have the 7 to 10 one, all right? Where this is the big one, okay? This is like and like it could be, for example, it can be like maybe you're watching inappropriate things that you're not supposed to be watching and you're tempted by that. That conversation of talking to someone about, I'm sometimes tempted to watch inappropriate things would feel a lot harder than having the conversation about, hey mom, hey dad, I'm just really tempted to have ice cream before dinner, right? Like there's kind of that level. So it's really cool that you guys kind of hit on that. What was the scale about? Dude, help me, Daniel, help me. 1 was easy, 10 was hard. It's okay, man. It's okay. I get it. I understand. Sometimes we forget. So that's kind of it. All right. Now we're going to move on to the second question. But before we do, actually, I just want to stress to you guys that it's okay that certain temptations are easier to share than other temptations. That is a normal thing. Okay. Just so you're not like, why am I? No, that is a normal thing. And the greatest part about that is that Jesus actually helps with all of those temptations. And I know you're like, why would Jesus help me with my temptation of like having ice cream before dinner? And it's just simply because he cares that much. And I know that's crazy. And I know that's like maybe even borderline funny to think about that Jesus even cares about something as small and maybe, I don't want to say useless, but we're going to keep it as small and insignificant as that. But he cares, and he cares about that as much as he cares about the temptation of maybe you watching inappropriate things that you're not supposed to be watching. That is the level of care, and that's how much we need to lean on Jesus because he's here to help us with those temptations. And we're going to move on for our last question. Are you an imposter? You're acting sus. That's crazy. We got an imposter. But the last question is this. What's one reason someone might not ask for help when they are tempted? Okay, I'm going to say it again. What is one reason why someone might not ask for help when they are tempted? Okay, one more time, just because I know there's a delay. What is one reason why somebody may not ask for help when they are tempted? Angelique said because they don't want other people to find out what they're doing. Yeah, like that. That's the big one, right? We imposter everyone I want to bite. Okay. Because they're scared to be judged. Yeah. They don't want to annoy them. Yeah. Because they feel embarrassed. Yeah. They don't want others to distrust them when they're alone. That's really good. Because they might not want to get in trouble. Yeah. Like those are literally all fantastic examples of why people don't kind of open up about temptations. Cause like, then you're kind of like painted as really bad person. Like, you're like, ooh, there they go again. I wonder if they, like, right? It's always that feeling of judgment and like, oh, they're not going to trust me and stuff like that. Nelly said because they might feel that thing they tempted by would be embarrassing to talk about and they don't want to change people's food opinions on them. Yeah, they might figure out that, yeah. So like a lot of the reasons why people don't open up is because they're nervous about what others may think. They're embarrassed about what they're doing, or they just know like just flat out that it's wrong. But I want to share with you guys that like, and it's tough, right? Because when we talk about opening up, we talk about being vulnerable. And one of the things about opening up about some of the things that we might be tempted with is number one, like the honestly, probably the biggest thing that I would encourage you guys with is to do that. And I know it's tough and I know it sounds hard, especially after we just talked about all the things that kind of stop us or other people from opening up about temptations and how it's a lot about judgment. It's about how people are going to think. But number two, I had 3 fingers up. That's weird. Number two, find someone you trust. Find a older adult. And this is where I would even shy away from some of your friends and talking about some of that, because the reality is they're probably tempted with the same things. And they're probably maybe falling into the same temptation. So opening up to them isn't really going to help you be able to fight those temptations, right? Like it'd be weird. So I would really suggest opening up to a trusted adult, someone who's older, someone who has just a little bit more life experience than you in helping you with those temptations and kind of keeping you accountable to that. And number 3, the biggest one on this list, and our bottom line, is bring it to Jesus, bring it to God, because Jesus wants to help us with our temptations. So if we need the strength to be able to push back the temptation, if we need the wisdom to be able to be like, this probably isn't the smartest thing to do, or if we need the discernment to go, hey, I shouldn't be doing this, then we need to be praying to God and asking God to help us with these temptations. And always, and I'm going to end with this, and then we have a couple announcements. I'm going to end with this. Always know and understand that like Jesus will never judge you. So all of those things that we talked about, like opening up temptations and people judging us being embarrassed, we can actually bring all of those things to Jesus and we won't get any of those reactions. And it's crazy to think. And kind of take a step back. I have a secret for you guys. He already knows. So it's like we're talking to someone who kind of already knows. So we shouldn't feel embarrassed because he already knows. So that is all for our week 3 of temptation, guys. I have exciting news that I'm going to share. So starting off, numero uno, okay? Numero uno. Number 1. Next week, okay? Next week is the 27th of, what month are we in? June. It is June. The 27th of June, okay? Next week. You see how we meet at 10:35? That will be no more. No more meeting at 10:30. So I need you guys to write this down and remember, because I know somebody's going to forget. And I'm going to get an email. That's like, Pastor O'Shea, we're not live right now at like 10:35 or 10:37. I'm going to be like, dude, no, I said this last week. We don't meet at 10:35 no more. Let me hear you say it in the chat. We don't meet at 10:35 no more. Okay? No more. We have a new meeting time. And we have a new meeting time because our regular service times are changing. Okay? They are changing. So we are meeting at 12 o'clock. 1 2. All right, just in case you don't know numbers, if you look at a clock, okay, when both hands go like this, that's 12 o'clock. Okay, both hands like this, 12 o'clock. That is when we are meeting. 12 o'clock on YouTube. Why is that so late? I know. No, we're having church. It's at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. So now you guys get time to sleep in. You don't gotta like wake up with, you know, when you like wake up and you're still tired, you got like eye boogers in your eyes and you're out here like just picking them out. Yeah, you'll have enough time to pick out your eye boogers, all that stuff, because we'll be meeting at 12 o'clock. All right, and we got to meet at that time because the kids are meeting before, and then there's service for the adults, and then we're going to be meeting after the adults. So 12 o'clock next week, I'll let you guys know on Wednesday as well. I'll send out an email just to remind you guys. I know, I'm blurry. I know, I get it. I understand. I get it. Yeah, the main services are before us. Sir, Mr. Sir. I don't get it. I don't. But my next announcement, all right? I see 21 people in this chat right now, okay? So that means 11 of you guys that are in this chat have not signed up for our virtual escape room. So you need to go on onechurch.to/register and register. Because if you don't register, you unfortunately may not be able to come because all the spots may be booked up. So go register for our virtual escape room and invite a friend out. Invite a friend out. You're going to want to invite a friend out because, these virtual escape rooms, I'm going to let you know another secret, okay? They cost money. So you're basically inviting your friends out. Check this out. You're inviting your friends out to a free event where they get to have fun for free. And on top of that, we're going to be doing a competition for the fastest group to complete the escape room, okay? So the fastest group to complete the escape room will be getting prizes for their entire group. So you're gonna wanna invite your smart friends out. You know who they are, you know, and you may be the smart friend. So you're gonna wanna pool your other smart friends so that you can beat everybody else. So don't forget, register. You can't solo. It's gotta be a group. So register, invite your friends out, We meet at 12 o'clock next Sunday. Don't forget, register, invite your friends out, register. Let's pray. All right. Dear God, I thank you so much, Lord, that we're able to dive into these conversations about temptation, Father, Lord. And Lord, I'm so grateful, Lord, that we're able to talk about how Jesus helps us with temptation, Lord. So if we feel tempted, Lord, I pray, Lord, that you would help each and every single one of us, Lord, just be able to reach out and be able to pray and get that strength, get that wisdom, get that discernment, Lord, just to be able to not fall into that temptation, Lord, and be stronger than that temptation, Father. And Lord, I pray, Lord, over everyone that is watching, everyone that's going to watch, everyone that's listening, God. I pray, Lord, that, Lord, we would find someone in our lives that we trust, Lord, that we can open up to about our temptations and talk about it, so we can have people in our lives who want to see the best for us, who want to help us be able to keep us accountable in areas of our life that we know we may not be the strongest in, Father. So we thank you for this. And Lord, I pray over all of our students. I pray, Lord, that they would remember to register and invite their friends out to the escape room. And Lord, I pray, Lord, that they would remember that next week, Saturday, we meet at 12 o'clock. In your name, amen. See, now I prayed for you guys, so you guys are definitely not going to mess up. And you guys are definitely going to invite your friends and register because I just prayed, So I believe in the power of prayer, and I know you do too. Peace out, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday when you register and you come out with your friends. All right, guys, take it easy. Don't forget, register, invite your friends, and 12 p.m.